Hello, everyone. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Krystal, and I am a health and well-being specialist here at Borislow Insurance. I'd like to welcome you today and thank you for taking the time to be here. I'm excited to present this month's topic on sleep. And as a disclaimer, this webinar is for educational purposes only. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to your primary care physician, and they often have specific carrier resources that you can utilize for your own sleep health. The webinar will be a half hour, and I'll be asking lots of engaging poll questions throughout today's session, so I encourage you to participate. And as a reminder, we are recording this and it will be added to our YouTube channel for later use. In the background with me today is my team member, Brittany. She will be answering any questions you may have that you can utilize with the chat function or the Q&A, and we can address at the end of the series. So again, thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to investigate our other health and well-being services, such as culture audits and strategic planning, alternative wellness solutions, live webinars and on-site classes such as today, health fairs or on-site demonstrations, or coaching and behavior modification solutions, please don't hesitate to reach out and feel free to let Brittany know in the chat if you are interested in pursuing them. On today's agenda, we will address sleep deprivation versus quality sleep and actionable steps you can take towards improving your sleep with an evening routine and sleep hygiene. So to start off today, let me just bring up a poll. Do you feel that you get enough sleep regularly? Yes or no? All right, I give just a couple more seconds to participate. Do you feel you get enough sleep regularly? Again, this is for fun, no right or wrong, just your personal opinion, no judgment. I'll go ahead and end the poll and share the results. And as you can see, the majority of us feel that we don't get enough sleep regularly. So thank you so much for participating in this poll. We are going to take a look at how we can improve that. So I just wanted to start with a story to bring a different perspective on sleep. So every day we recharge our phones, but oftentimes we forget to recharge ourselves. Let's say we slept well and we woke up with 100% charge of energy. 80% of us often wake up, roll over, and automatically scroll our phones before we even brush our teeth. Say that takes away about 10% of our energy. Then we move on to breakfast and getting ready for the day, work, interacting with others, maybe tackling projects. And now maybe we're left at only 40% charge. Then we come home, we might switch on Netflix or talk to somebody about our day. That takes away maybe 20%. So we're now left at only 20% charge. Usually that's the percentage where our battery or on our phone, the icon turns red and sends us an alert. The question is, do we notice when our charge is at 20% or maybe 10%? There are always signs and alerts from our bodies, our brains, our minds, but are we tuned in and are we listening? What if we recharged ourselves as much as we recharged our phones? Because if we don't, we'll end up like our phones and completely shut down. So I hope you enjoyed that. It just was a new perspective on how we take care of our phones and maybe not take care of ourselves. So I would like to encourage another poll. How much time do you think the average adult spends feeling tired each day? Do you think that it is 1 hour, 3 hours, 5, or 8? Give just a couple more seconds to participate. Thank you, everybody who's entering. I'll go ahead and end the poll there. and share the results. You can see we actually have a tie, 3 hours and 5 hours. So the answer is the adult typically spends 3 hours a day feeling tired. That equals 6 full weeks each year. That's quite a bit of time. Let's take a look at what happens when we don't get enough sleep. So deadlines are looming, maybe your schedule's packed, and everyone and everything needs a piece of your time, which contributes to feeling exhausted. Sleep deprivation can be dangerous and contribute to increased risk of high health concerns, maybe heart disease and diabetes. So let's take a look at what happens or what it looks like when we don't get enough sleep. Signs of sleep deprivation include maybe it takes forever to fall asleep. Do you wake up in the middle of the night tossing and turning? Do you want to stay in bed in the morning and not get up? Do you feel tired, groggy throughout the day? Do you feel like you need to reach for that caffeine in the afternoon for that pick-me-up? Or do you have physical ailments, maybe like headaches? There are many contributing factors that assist with sleep deprivation. So just a few to look at today is being overproductive and not taking a break to rest and play is a high contributor. And this may feel hard because productivity is often rewarded in today's society. A lack of sunlight causes imbalances with our internal sleep cycles with the sun. So you might have heard the phrases of waking up with the sun or going to sleep with the moon, and hopefully staying consistent with the natural rise and fall within each day. Shallow breathing, which decreases the oxygen in your body and makes you feel tired. Dehydration, which impairs our digestion and makes us feel that sluggish feeling. Or excessive noise, both internally and externally, which causes stress to our nervous system, often resulting in fight, flight, or freeze responses. So negativity is easily contagious because it's natural for us to gravitate towards negativity to determine if there's a threat or a need for survival. So we could work on lightening the negativity, whether it's internal or external, by increasing exposure to positive noise. Maybe that looks like decreasing social media or the news intake, looking at the top 5 people that you surround yourself with and the communication and the nature of those interactions, or incorporating practices like gratitude or meditation or serving others, which helps create an armor to protect you from that negativity. When we have sleep deprivation, we risk chronic health concerns such as diabetes and heart disease, injuries such as driver drowsiness and accidents, falls or broken bones. Emotional effects include anxiety, depression, anger, mood swings, fear, worry, or increased stress. Mental effects include poor memory, trouble focusing, an inability to learn or be creative, maybe make decisions or solve problems. And physical effects are often weakened immune systems, weight gain, a lack of energy, which we talk about often when we feel tired, and decreased cellular function. So again, thanks for playing. I would like to launch a poll. Which contributing factor do you personally want to work on today? Is that overproductivity, a lack of sunlight, shallow breathing, dehydration, or maybe excessive noise? I'm not sure about you, but I always get a little nervous before presenting, so I can feel that my breath might be something I want to work on today, and come back to a natural state. I will go ahead and give just a few more seconds before ending the poll. Which contributing factor do you want to work on personally today? I'll go ahead and end there and share. Absolutely, overproductivity is a large one. And I just want to note that it is recognized as something that's rewarded often, but being realistic and time blocking maybe your schedule, or offering yourself a time to pause and know that it is going to be okay. We will get to it when it is intentional, but being intentional with yourself as well. So let's take a look at if we feel well rested. So what happens when we get enough quality sleep? Signs of quality sleep look like waking up happy. Are you alert throughout the entire day? Do you feel completely focused? Are you fully present? So for example, in the overproductivity, are you fully present in what you're working on or working towards? Or do you have possibly email notifications or phone notifications going off that you're responding to while completing a task? Do you have individuals, I think of at home, who might need things often while you're trying to complete something? Do you fall asleep easily when you get into bed? So these are a few signs of what quality sleep looks like. While you're asleep, your body typically goes through several sleep stages that cycle an average of about 90 minutes or so. The stages include non-REM and REM, which stands for rapid eye movement. You may have noticed this possibly in children or pets or maybe loved ones. So today we're just going to take a look at the different stages of the sleep cycle. When you first fall asleep and your body starts to unwind, it begins to slow down. This includes your brain waves, your heart rate, and your eye movements. You might drift between being awake and being asleep, and you might be slightly alert and can be easily woken up. Stage 2 is the non-REM or light sleep, just before the deep sleep. This is when your body temperature decreases, your eye movements stop, your heart and muscles relax even deeper, and brain waves briefly spike and then slow down. Most of your night is spent in stage 2. Next, we move to stage 3, which is the non-REM deep sleep, which typically occurs in the first few hours of sleep. And this is the important stage for physical restoration. So your cells and all of the physical aspects of sleep. The stage is what makes you feel refreshed in the morning. It's harder to wake you up since your body becomes less responsive, your breathing becomes slower, and your heart rate usually becomes more regular. And it's common for adults to typically see a decrease in deep sleep as we get older because that's normal, that's typical. And lastly, we have stage 4, which is the REM sleep, which happens after you've had your initial stage of deep sleep. Your brain becomes more active and your eyes move quickly from side to side. This is the stage of dreams. Your heart rate and breathing might also increase, but your muscles below the neck are inactive due to avoiding acting out any dreams. So it's crazy how the body is designed to do this. And this stage, stage 4, is the stage that's important for mental restoration. So we have the physical restoration, but we also have the mental restoration. I think it's important to note that because often when we feel tired, we often relate it to physical aspects, although mentally we could be drained as well. Today, just as a reminder, there are a lot of devices that track these different sleep stages, and it might be fun to utilize one of them to maybe track your own personal patterns. With quality sleep, there are many benefits. Sleep is one of the most underrated medicines in the entire world. It plays the housekeeping role in our body by removing the toxins. So a few examples of the benefits include energy conservation through reducing any calorie needs your body needs, cellular restoration of your muscles, the proteins, tissues, organs, and your hormones, brain function by reorganizing neurons and nerve cells. It removes toxin byproducts in the brain, which are produced regularly throughout the day. So it's kind of like taking the trash out. Emotional well-being, where it regulates the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that's in charge of the fear response, which results from a perceived threat or a stressful situation. So if you are sleep deprived, your amygdala will overreact. But if you have quality sleep, then you're more apt to be adapt before responding. Weight management, which regulates hunger hormones. Proper insulin function, which assists healthy cells to utilize glucose appropriately for energy, and it prevents insulin resistance. And lastly, immunity. The body naturally makes cytokines, or the good guys, which help fight off any infections or inflammation, which is why sleep is so important when you're sick or when you're stressed. I will go ahead and the next poll. I'm curious, which benefit do you personally want to receive when it comes to sleep? Is that energy conservation, cellular restoration, brain function or emotional well-being, weight management, proper insulin function, or immunity? And give just a few more seconds to participate. Thank you, everyone, again, who is engaging in today's webinar. It's exciting to see all of the answers as they come in. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll here and share the results. And as you can see, there are many positive benefits that we're all looking to receive. I would say we have a tie between cellular restoration, which is extremely important for your body to do, and weight management, absolutely. So thank you so much for participating. So do you want to get better sleep? I think most of us do. So let's look at some actionable steps that we can take to improve your sleep quality today. We spend 1/3 of our lives sleeping, which makes it an important part of our day-to-day. An unregulated evening with no routine or structure is reflected in the morning. Predictability teaches your body and your mind that it's time to get ready to sleep. Being flexible with different lifestyles or different day-to-day activities is important, although consistency is key. When starting to incorporate an evening routine or sleep hygiene, please remember that is a change and adjustment, and it's always evolving. So be patient with yourself and remember to prioritize yourself as we move forward. So creating an evening routine and sleep hygiene, there are a few things that kind of stood out as I was looking, and this is different for every person. So please take what serves you and leave the rest. There's no right or wrong. But again, going back to listening to your own body, your own mind, and naturally noticing what works and what doesn't. So the first is transition. So transitioning from a busy day at work or after work activities to a calm, relaxing evening. Incorporating nutrition. So a lot of times we might hear nightcap or afternoon caps. So steering clear of stimulants late in the day like coffee, soda, or energy drinks. Though alcohol initially will make you feel drowsy, ultimately it can interfere with the quality of your sleep. Alcohol alters what's called the sleep architect, which is your natural flow of sleep through those 4 different stages. Utilizing small early meals is best on the digestive system, so 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep, because when your body is digesting, it is working and your heart rate is still up. And in order to receive the benefits from sleep, you need to lower the heart rate to be able to fully rest. So avoiding foods that disrupt sleep, like citrus foods, spicy or fatty or fried foods, or anything that's really heavy, that it may trigger indigestion or heartburn. The next one is technology. So avoiding activities on the phone or TV as it increases blue light. So maybe blocking or reducing the blue light. Maybe you lower the screen brightness. And being mindful of what you consume before bed. So mindless scrolling or consumption. So for example, maybe you're consuming something that feels a little bit like fear, maybe a scary movie or something. Oftentimes you still hold and carry that feeling long after than what you might actually think. Even in conversations that you may have had throughout the day. So oftentimes we might see that they come in our dreams and bother us at night. So just noticing what you allow into your senses, as just like the body digests food, the mind digests what we allow and what we consume in. And so being mindful of what you choose to consume throughout the evening, maybe adjusting it to things more like soothing reading or music or something lighthearted. The next is mental health. So taking a moment to release all of your troubles, any worries or thoughts. You could do that with a person or do it in a journal, and kind of what's called mind dumping and just getting everything out. And so by doing that, when we release everything, it helps us to kind of just release all of the things that happen throughout the day that we might be worrying about or thinking about, so that we can kind of set them aside. We can put them out of our minds, set them aside, and hopefully give them a space so that our minds can fully rest as well. Being mindful to maybe end, for example, you have a rough day or maybe you're sad, and then trying to end it on a little bit lighter note with maybe a moment of gratitude, and looking for something that went really well throughout the day. And if you have a hard time trying to think of something, just remember to keep it really simple and go back to the basics. And anything that really kind of feels like joy. This helps to set the intention of how you want to wake up. So just as we set the alarm for when we need to wake up, maybe setting the energy within your own mental space and mental health, and how you'd like to wake up. So maybe it's something that I'm really grateful for. My lilacs are coming up today and they smell beautiful. Something really simple as that, or the sun is out, and waking up and being grateful for those little things that happen throughout our day too. Another tip is our environment. So it is often stated that 65 degrees or a cooler temperature at night helps in your sleep quality. But also just noticing that darkness period as the sun starts to set and things start to get darker. Darkness is necessary in order to create melatonin, or the sleep hormone, where your body naturally adapts to darkness. You can tune in, but you could also set the environment with other things like soft lighting or candles or any like essential oil scents or anything that kind of lifts our moods and our emotions. Another tip is to set out your clothes for the next day. This really helps in preventing decision fatigue. So oftentimes we make decisions throughout the day and it can be exhausting mentally. So making any easy decisions ahead of time will save on the next day, and you can limit those that energy and focus it towards on larger decisions, maybe at work or things of that sort. Taking a long hot shower or bath after the day gives you a feeling of maybe your shoulders dropping, or a relaxing any tension in your physical body. It's not just dirt that it cleanses. Our body is mostly made out of water, so running water naturally over the body offers this certain recalibration, if you will. Next is self-care. So there are so many things, this is talked about all the time, but maybe massaging, say, your hands if you work on a computer all day, or your feet. Our feet carry us and walk us everywhere, if we are lucky enough to do so. So by doing that, massaging your hands and your feet, it releases the organs and any toxins that are in your body and helps with relaxation. You can also massage your head to help ease any worry or stress. And it also increases the love hormone as well. And lastly, the sleep position. So everybody is different, but just taking note that if you sleep on your back or with a flat spine, this allows your nervous system to actually completely relax and you'll receive a deeper sleep. If you sleep on the left side, it also helps to reduce any snoring or any heartburn. So I just wanted to share realistically, there's a lot of information out there. I wanted to share with you a few things that work for me, and I would like to encourage you to use the chat if you'd like to share things that work for you. If you have a sleep hygiene or evening routine already built, if you don't have one, that's okay too. Or if maybe you have one that's in progress, because life is ever evolving. So a few things that work for me, and I just thought I would share, and I would love to hear from you, and I'm sure Brittany would too. She's out there helping us today. But my evening routine looks a lot like a to-do list. So I want to make sure next day's priorities are set aside and I don't have to remember or think about them or try to remember throughout the night. My phone, I often put on night mode to prepare my eyes and my mind. And then I'm also guilty of putting it on airplane or turning notifications off as well. I'd like to incorporate play. So that could look like creative cooking. I always think that pretty food tastes better. So just personal opinion, adding any movement in, like being outside, it's nice out now, or doing a physical activity that you like or enjoy. And then being with loved ones. And sometimes when I feel a little overwhelmed, I like to spend time just by myself to really relax any energy that I might be holding on throughout the day. Next is my environment. So I do a really quick pickup around the house and set out anything that I need for the next day. This just makes it waking up a lot happier. I love a clean, free space to start my day off. And lastly, my mood. So I am often picked on that once the sun goes down, I am not far behind. So I like to put soft lighting on, like a lamp or something. And then we often get cozy PJs on or add soft or quiet noises like the soft music or happy TV shows. So my 4-year-old often calls it the funny show. So we like to keep it really light before we go to sleep. And it helps a lot in the morning. And then this is my personal sleep hygiene. I would love for you to include the chat, anything that works for you. I think everyone is different. So try things out. If they work, great. If they need to be changed, that's great too. A skincare ritual is important in my day. I like to wash the day off and not carry that with me to my bed. I really like reading for some quiet time and kind of just learning something new or not having to think about anything specific. The biggest one for me is the schedule. So I know we talk about this a lot and I'm sure you've heard it many times, but spending the same time going to sleep and then waking up the next day is vital for sleep quality because your body will naturally know when, oh, it's time to sleep or, oh, it's time to wake up now. And that is important every single day, even on the weekends, because you may have heard that it's harder to recalibrate your sleep schedule, say on Monday mornings or staying up later on the weekend. So I encourage a schedule. And then another thing that I thought was important was to talk about space. And you might see this if you ever have any sleep problems or concerns that you might talk with your doctor with. I noticed that I read that time has memory and location has energy. So doing the same thing at the same time in the same location builds an energy and a habit. So if we are awake, we should get out of bed. And that trains our brain to know that our activities that we do in bed include sleep. They do not include maybe watching TV or scrolling our phones, and therefore creating us to lie awake often. So if we are awake, finding a new space to wait until we are sleepy, maybe a different room to watch TV or scroll your phone, and then going back to your physical bed in the physical space to remind your body that we sleep here and we can relax and we are safe. Lastly, breath work and gratitude. So just, I'm sure you might already do this maybe, and that doesn't have to be, you know, this perfect practice, but just a deepening of your inhale and an exhale without any force really regulates your nervous system, and gratitude strengthens your mindful resilience. So again, it's kind of like your little workout for your brain every day, just something that you're thankful for or that brings joy. And so when you think of something happy and then you release your nervous system, so you don't have to feel like you're in fight, flight, or freeze mode, that will help your body naturally relax and come to a safe space. And lastly, an alarm clock. This is me personally. I do not love waking up to the blaring alarm sound. So I like to wake up naturally with the sun or something that's softer, like soothing alarm clock sounds, which there are a variety that you can choose from. So these are the things that work for me. I hope you have things that work for you. And I was just curious, the last poll for today, what do you want to work on, or how will you adjust your personal evening routine or sleep hygiene? Would that be maybe transitioning from a work or busy day to at home, nutrition, technology, maybe your mental health, environment, many different things? Which one stands out to you that you would like to work on for your evening routine or sleep hygiene today? I'll go ahead and give a few more seconds to participate, and then I'm going to just end the poll here and share the results. So transition is a big one. Absolutely. I don't know about you, but working at home, there isn't a lot of driving to transition to my next post-work evening routine. And so finding things that might work, maybe that looks like a walk or just time alone or whatever works best for you. Thank you so much for participating. As a quick recap, which contributing factor of sleep deprivation did you maybe want to work on today? Overproductivity was a big one. Which benefit of quality sleep do you want to receive, such as cellular restoration? And how will you adjust your evening routine or sleep hygiene today, which includes the transition from work or from your day to your evening? So thank you so much for joining me today. Please take a moment to complete the survey after today's webinar. It provides valuable data to us. And if you have any questions or anything that we can help you with, please reach out to us. We would love to help you. And thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy your afternoon.